Robin Slim Show.
Hi, this is Jorgy Cruz.
Jorgy Cruz, director from the documentary Funny Pains. How are you, Jorgy?
I'm pretty exhausted. I have a 2-year-old at home in a lockdown,
Yeah,
but I'm happy.
that's a full-time gig, Jorgy.
Oh man, I mean, I live in Boston. I have a 2-bedroom apartment, and I have like a kiddie pool in the living room. Like I don't know what else to do.
A kiddie pool and a big wheel right in the living room.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty rundown theme park in my house now. But it's like she's happy. That's all that matters.
Yeah, yes, that is all that matters. I work retail and I do like online orders. And back when it was Easter, I was seeing a lot of Easter, stuff being ordered, candy and baskets and all that. And I was like, that's cool. People are just going out of their way to give their kids some normalcy during this whole stupid time.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy because they get bored of you. They love their daycare, their friends, and every day she just looks at me at some point like, again,
you again, you again. Come on.
And you're just like, I got the pool in the living room. What else do you want?
I'm like, dude, you're stuck with me. This is all you got. Let's do it.
This is as good as it gets, little one. Like, oh man. Well, you being in Boston, Jorgy, you did Funny Pains, and was that based in New York?
Yeah, I was living in New York. I lived in New York twice in my life. First, when I was a film student over there, and then I moved away, and then moved back around 7 years ago. And I shot the whole film over there, and then I moved to Boston.
Okay. How did you connect with everybody from that? In particular, Wendi Starling.
Oh, it's just so random. I went when we were living in New York. My then girlfriend, now wife, she used to work at a bar in Midtown a couple of days a week. We make really good money, and she was in charge of a comedy show on a Saturday. And I'm a huge fan of stand-up. I've always have been. And she called me. It's like, hey, I'm in charge of this party today. It's a comedy show. I'm like, oh, you guys never do comedy shows in that bar. It's like, yeah, they're trying it out. So I'm like, all right, it's going to be 8 people in the crowd and 15 comics within 3 minutes. All right, I'll go, So I go, and the comics are fine. They're okay, It felt kind of like an open mic kind of deal. But it was fine. It was fun. I was getting free beer from my wife, so it's all good. Mm-hmm. And then this lady just runs in, and she looks really pale and kind of sweaty and just out of breath a little bit, I guess. And she gets to the bar and she goes like, can I get a tall glass of water? And my wife is like, of course. And we make eye contact, and I just go like, are you okay? And she goes, I'm dying. I'm like, I'm dying? Yes. I went on a bender. I haven't been home in 3 days. And I was, okay, you're not dying. All right.
Yeah.
So I brushed it off. He's just another crazy person from New York, whatever. And then I hear from the speakers, ladies and gentlemen, with you, Wendi Starling. And she's like, I'll be right back. Can you watch my water? And she hits the stage. She looks amazing. She's full of energy.
Yeah.
She's not pale anymore. She's not sweating.
Yeah.
And she just kills. There were maybe 15, 16 people in the crowd, but she just kills.
Yes.
And she's killing with this raw material. And I was like, what is going on? You know that, like, when you go to a show, a big comedy show, like back in the day I went to see, I don't know, Chris Rock or Louis or whatever.
Yes.
And you go to Madison Square Garden and 18,000 people laugh at the same time. It's this huge wave.
Yeah, it's a whole feeling. Yep.
So when you're in a little comedy show and there's 15 people laughing hard, it's a whole different energy. It's like you're not going along with the laugh. Everyone's truly laughing. So she did that, and I was like, I need to talk to her. And I, after she did the show, I approached her. I'm like, hi, that was really amazing what you did. I'm a filmmaker, never done documentary or anything. Can I just, meet with you and just follow you around with the camera? for one day. Maybe we'll do like a day in the life of a comic or something. I don't know. She's like, oh yeah, we can do that for sure. So,
Not even questioning it. Yeah, let's do it.
And just like you said, just from watching the doc, I was just like, wow, yeah, she went from like, I haven't slept in 3 days to going up on stage and just killing it. And like you said, being like pale and pasty from like energetic and like almost illuminating the room. She is something special. She really is.
100%. We shot that day, and I shot with who became my director of photography and business partner, Pablo Minier. Pablo is my best friend, and I was like, trust me, I want to shoot this with this. I told him about it. He was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, let's just go. We shot that day, and it was so intense and crazy that I was like, this is a movie. Yeah. We're shooting a movie.
Dude,
and that's just how it started. 5 years later, we're here.
How did you get like Rich Voss, Bonnie McFarlane, Jim Norton, and everyone else involved into it?
Oh, money. I'm kidding.
Goddamn, Jorgy.
I paid them really, like, they took a high cut. Like, they took nothing almost. I appreciate that so much for them. No, so...
Yes.
Wendi, one of her best friends, is Christina Hutchinson. She has the podcast Guys We Fucked.
Yes.
Humongous, whatever. And she's also a comic, and they have this monthly show in the West Village called Glamourpuss. So eventually we got to shoot that show, and we met Christina, and I interviewed her a couple of times. And at the time, Christina, the podcast was getting really big, her podcast.
Yeah.
But she still had a day job. She was just trying. Mm-hmm. But in the middle of the documentary, throughout the documentary, she blew up, and she quit her job. The podcast started making money. Just everything changed. And then one day, someone suggested, "Hey, we have all this footage with Wendi that looks amazing and it's great, but to be honest, if we go to the market with it, it's going to be really hard to sell it. There's no big names attached or whatever. What if we get some comics to comment on their journey, and it can go, along with Wendi's journey throughout the doc?" I'm like, all right, how can we get those people? And Christina was like, I'll get them all.
Wow.
And she did.
Oh my God.
She did.
Yes.
And we did 3 roundtables with Voss, Bonnie McFarlane, Andrew Schultz, like all these titans of comedy.
Yes. It was 3 different roundtables.
We shot in her apartment. She was like, let's shoot in my place. I was like, whoa, all right. Like, she was just amazing with it. And she landed everyone, told her, we don't have much money. Well, I told her I just need them for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that's it. Wow. And everything I shot with them was just one take.
See, that's what I was going to ask. I felt like maybe you had like many takes. Maybe you have like a lot of outtakes footage. Like, I didn't realize like you got what you got and you showed it. Like, that's amazing.
Oh man, it took a year to get them in the same room, all of them. It was really hard. Yeah. But when we did, it was so tight. I remember one day, Bonnie and Rich were there, Christina, and I was waiting for Andrew. And Andrew came in, we said hi, I said a couple of words to him, and we were like, okay, roll in. Because I knew Rich and Bonnie had to go, like, in 60 minutes. So we just went for it. But they had so much fun talking that they stayed a little bit more.
Yes.
So I'm so grateful, and I'm very grateful that they were not assholes at all. They were really cool.
Yeah.
To me, they were really humble. And they opened up a lot, which was awesome.
Yes, they did. I love them just talking about when their house burnt down. I was telling Slim before the show, I saw Rich MC a show, I can't tell you how many years ago, Jorgy, and it was when he first started dating Bonnie, and I guess she was flying down from Canada or wherever at the time to visit him, and he took a phone call from her, like, on stage just to give her directions from the airport to the comedy show. Like,
that's
something
Rich.
else. Yes, that is Rich. That's totally Rich. Too, Jorgy, who I fell in love with was, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but Mehran
Kargani.
Kargani, yes.
Mehran Kargani is the funniest human being I've ever met.
Fuck yes.
Every time he spoke, I needed to get away from the camera, from the microphones, because I was going to mess up the shot. He was so, everything he said was just funny. I wanted to leave everything in that he said.
I'd never heard of him before this. Now I want to see like all of his act. I want to see everything he's got to offer because he killed it, dude.
Yeah, he was. I think he was a finalist or almost won or something. The last comic standing a few years back. He was blowing up, and then I don't know what happened, and he kind of like started out again to be out there.
Yes.
And I didn't know him either, but Christina showed me one clip of him, and I was like, I need that guy.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, yeah, no, I want to know this guy. He's great. Like, I've seen Norton. I've listened to Norton from Opie and Anthony back in the day. Like, I know Norton, and I love Norton. Rich and Bonnie as well. But, yeah, he was like a new face for me, and I was like, wow, this guy's great. And also that black woman, what was her name?
Jamanica Saunders is... That, oh my God, it's just the funniest woman ever. That was another day that in that round table, I was like, I'm gonna hook up the shot. I'm covering my mouth.
Is the camera shaking when you're filming because you're laughing?
She was just too much. Like I think yesterday or today, social media, one of her, like a promo focus on her came out from the movie, and it's a clip that I had to leave it out. It was so hard to leave it out, but it's just so freaking funny. She's full of energy. She has a great album on iTunes and everywhere out called "Damsel in Distress." It's hilarious. That lady's full of energy and really smart too.
Yes.
You can tell in the documentary.
Yes, you
brilliant.
can. I love them all speaking about once you've known you've pissed somebody off in the audience, just going harder, just digging in that wound.
Torturing the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim says, if it's going bad, we're all going to need a shower after this.
Yes. Yes. God damn, dude. Yes. Have you ever considered Jorgy doing comedy? Being around that many great comedians?
No, actually, it's funny. Like, one of my best friends is a stand-up comic in Latin America. He's like one of the top 3 guys. He's famous and stuff. And he used to say to me, I used to write for him some stuff, some material that he would work on and turn into a bit. And he was like, do you want to try one day? And I'm like, no. Why? I'm like, dude, I'm not afraid to talk in public at all. But the responsibility of making you laugh after you pay $10, $5 at the door, or the 2-drink minimum, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I cannot start to imagine that.
That's a lot of responsibility.
I remember one shot that I was doing in this small club in the West Village, and the room was empty before the show. Doors were closed, and I told Pablo, hey, I want to get a shot of the microphone by itself, and just to get some B-roll. And I went and I got that shot, and when I finished the shot, the spotlight was hitting me. There's no one in the crowd, in the tables. Everything's empty. And just the spotlight hitting me and the microphone in front of me, I was like, fuck no. Never, no. I got up the stage.
Yeah, no, never doing this. Yeah.
And also, comics are a unique, they're a breed of their own.
Yes.
They're very unique. And I think you have to unlock and open up some, hidden passages inside your psyche and heart and brain and soul to generate content, like material, Jim does or even what Wendi does. It's just, there's
something else you tap into, like something else. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but yeah, you do tap into something when you're on that roll and it's all the adrenaline and you're feeding off it and you're still just shitting on everybody or killing it. Like, yeah, there's absolutely something to that.
Yeah. I'll stay as a filmmaker.
I love Wendi though. I had never heard of her as well, and just seeing her battle with bipolar disorder and everything being institutionalized to even just her rape story, just bringing it to stage was like, wow.
Yeah, it's that's when I heard the bit the first time, I was blown away, and I was like, wow. And I remember asking her, like, what happens when you do that bit? It's like, well, my email is full the next day of people saying thank you. Or I was in the crowd, I never told my husband, and I told him after the show. Or
That's awesome.
Wow.
I laughed about it. Since I laughed about it, the whole trauma is kind of disarmed. It has disarmed itself a little bit, and I can open up.
I gotta tell you, Jorgy,
another-
I don't mean to interrupt or take away, but I do a dark comedy skit every week on the show called Too Many Rapes, and I reached out to somebody once to do a voice on it because we have voice actors sometimes, and he said that his wife heard him talk about it, and she broke down crying. And he asked her what was wrong, and she came to him with the story of her own rape, but they worked through it. He said, they worked through it, and it was like something that was needed to be known, and he never knew it about his wife. Like, it was amazing to hear.
Yeah, it's crazy how that, like a smell, something that you see in the street can trigger trauma. A lost memory or something.
Yes.
I prefer to be sitting down with a cocktail in my hand and someone telling a story that makes me laugh and connects with my trauma than reliving something out of nowhere because, I smelled something and it just takes me back to a time that I was abused or neglected or hit. So I think in that sense, comedy is fucking magic. It's magic.
It's a miracle. It's medicine. It is healing. Just like you said, all that. I don't know if you're familiar with Jim Jeffries, but some of his bits. Yeah, man. It's just some of his own incidents. It's just like, wow, somebody else experienced this or whatever. Like,
and also this trans that occurs between the comic and the audience. It's this ecosystem almost of like, I'm going to make you laugh, you're going to feel good, and I'm going to feel good because I'm making you laugh. That connection is a beautiful thing to witness. When you're shooting a documentary about it and you're looking at it from a different angle, you're not laughing, you're looking at the audience, you're working, You see it, you see that thing happening. That's magical, and it's important. We need it in that society. We need to laugh about dark stuff, man.
Yes, we do. It's almost like laughing to heal. Almost like, I feel like that's something we need to embrace. And just just going back, like, life isn't always supposed to be comfortable. You're not always supposed to feel good. You might have to get through something that's uncomfortable and be able to deal with it. That, I feel, is the most important thing about being a human.
I remember the first time I was 12. First time I saw a VHS tape with George Carlin. I wasn't supposed to watch that. And I was like, what is this? And I started laughing, and then I found myself, 12-year-old boy, thinking between laughs, like, wait, I never thought about it that way.
Yes.
Like, whoa. And then I moved on to Richard Pryor, and then I went to Bill Hicks, and I went through all these titans of comedy, and I was like, wow, they're making me laugh, and I'm thinking about shit differently.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
To the point that I've always said, I have three mentors. My filmmaking mentor, Hans Dudelheim, great man that taught me a lot, and Richard Pryor and George Carlin. Because when I was young, they talked to me about shit that no one talked to me about.
Yes, and broke it down.
So,
just broke it down so amazingly that it's almost a science.
Yeah. So Wendi just kind of just dropped in my lap for me to pursue this and turn it into a movie, and I think I got some respect from her and some of the comments because anything like I know, like I'm a huge fan of stand-up comedy. I'm a huge fan of history. So I remember everything. I can break down like a special from someone from 1989, and I enjoy talking about that and the evolution of a comic. And they were like, "Oh, he knows his shit, all right." So that kind of like helped me with them.
That's some street cred right there, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're Jorgy. Funny Pains. Where's it available to watch?
Well, if you go to funnypains.com, you have a one-click experience to watch the movie because you're going to have all the buttons there. You can click on it, tap on them. You go to Prime Video, you go to YouTube, you go to Fandango now, you go to Vimeo on demand. All the platforms are there. We're going to be in iTunes pretty soon, maybe like tomorrow or the day after tomorrow as well. iTunes is kind of picky. If
Yeah.
you have a typo, they go like, yeah, revise everything. Yeah.
If your picture's like a millimeter too big, yeah, they're dicky.
Yeah. So that took a little bit longer because obviously we were coming out in July, August. And then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And all theaters closed. And I'm like, okay, guys, what are we doing? And they were, trying to work things out. And I said, let's come out now.
Yeah.
People are at home. The living room, the bedroom, that's the new theater. So
Yes.
let's just go. So we had to do everything really fast to get out by the May 26th.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I've seen some of my buddies just on Facebook. Like, I'll see them set up the TV up on their patio, and yeah, it's like an outdoor like movie night. Like it's like that's cool. That's
Porch
cool.
movies.
Yeah, porch movies.
I don't have a TV on my living room, and my wife and I just take it out, buy some popcorn. We're like, oh, this is kind of pathetic, but it's nice,
Yeah. Watch it on
Only
whatever.
to do.
Yeah,
It's fun. Yeah.
It's a great movie, and like I said, it's everything. I feel like it's everything that should have been covered.
Yeah, I really wanted to be truthful about Wendy's story, and I really wanted to this is my open love letter to stand-up comedy. I really tried to make a different movie about comedy, not the same, sit-down interviews of people that are now millionaires telling people how to do bits and whatnot. That's been done. This is more real about New York comedy. Yeah. So I'm very proud of it, man. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just like I was telling Rob earlier, I mean, first of all, one of my favorite things was the fact that you had those different round tables, and you were just like, here's the camera, here's 4 comedians, and they're just going to shoot the shit. That was great. And also just like Rob and I have always talked over the years that comics, for the most part, have a darkness to them, and
always.
you really explored that, and I thought that was
always
awesome.
have a dark side. Yeah, you hit on all of theirs for the most part.
I think that was the only thing that I said in the beginning before I rolled camera. I didn't cut at any moment. I was like, okay, I need you guys to talk, have fun, go deep, don't sugarcoat it. And that switch that you turned on stage, I don't want it on.
Yeah,
I don't want it on. I want to see you. If I don't see you, we're gonna cut and we're gonna reassess. And I didn't have to cut once.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
wow.
It was pretty sweet. Yeah.
Cool. You're just seeing Jim Norton almost in tears talking about crying on the way home from one of his first gigs. Like when the guy was like, "Get a new act," and he was just like, "Fuck."
With Bob Levy, I think he did something with Bob Levy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. It's when you think about it's a hard story to listen to, but you laugh at the same time. And you're like, oh my god, it's such a nightmare. And then you have Rich talking about how he was an addict before. Like everyone really opened up, and that was
yes.
yeah, man. And they trusted me enough to open up about it. And that's surreal to me still. That like Rich and Bonnie and Andrew, all of them just opened up, and they really delivered.
They did, my friend. You are lucky. You are lucky for that, Jorgy. We have to wrap this up, dude. But where can everybody find you, and what other projects coming up do you have?
Well, funnypaints.com, everything is there, social, and where you can watch it. Right now, I was before the pandemic hit, I was shooting a follow-up documentary. This documentary is bananas because I'm following around the whole United States 3 independent women wrestlers. And they're telling me their stories. I'm seeing what really goes down behind the scenes, the difference between the men and the women in this crazy industry, the bumps, the roads, the travel. It's very eye-opening, and I think it's a movie that a lot of men need to watch.
I want to watch it.
Yeah,
now.
it sounds amazing.
I need to watch it. Like,
are you a fan of wrestling? Is that why you decided to do that?
You have Alexa Bliss because she is gorgeous. Alexa Bliss doesn't know it, but I love her.
Just like stand-up, I'm a huge fan of wrestling. It's a hard job.
Yeah.
You don't have a second take. You have to do it live. It's bumps, bruises. It's performing. It's being over the top. It's entertaining. It's connecting with people. It's one of the toughest jobs in the entertainment industry, if not the toughest one. Yeah. And I'm really interested in finding out why they do what they do, especially when you're getting paid $10, $30 a night after you drove 300 miles to wrestle in front of 12 people. Like, there's a lot to digest there. And you know what? After we hang up, I'm going to send you the teaser that we have. That it's not out. It's only for you guys to watch, right?
Okay.
Cool.
Yes, absolutely. I would. I would love to. I would love to.
Although you do have to answer this one question. Rob wanted to know if you had Alexa Blitz.
Oh yeah.
No, because she's signed with WWE. So if you're
They're
signed
the
with
enemy?
WWE, you can't talk to anyone. Anyone.
Yes.
You can't talk to anyone.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Like writers for them cannot work for anything else.
No. Alexa Bliss cannot talk to anyone outside of the WWE, especially on camera, without their consent. And they do their own documentaries, so they're very protected.
Wow.
Yeah. They'll even make you sign that you cannot be in a documentary after you've been released or you're not working with them.
What
So,
the fuck?
But yeah,
Damn.
I'm one of the women that I'm following got signed with WWE in the middle of the documentary.
Nice.
So I have that story too. So
That's
Yo,
awesome.
dude. You're awesome.
That
Jorgy.
just once again proving that Vince McMahon is just a dick.
He's a jerk. He's a jerk. He's a blockhead. We'll say.
Kind of an asshole.
Unless he wants to pay us to be on WWE, I don't know.
Yeah.
I could be an announcer.
I might change my attitude.
Slim can
about-
wipe down the ring between
Yeah.
matches. We'll do it.
yeah, I'm having fun with that one. So that's the next one that's coming. Yeah,
Cool, Jorgy. Thank you so much for talking to us, my friend.
guys, thank you for having me. It's been a blast. It's been a long day, and this is the best way to end this day, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for the love, and remember, funnypaints.com, everything's there.
Yes, and thank you for putting out the content you do, because you're killing it, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
No
Have a good night.
problem. Have a good one, Jorgy.